read Bible stories. This is the little children's Bible storybook, and we have made it to Jonah tries to run from God. And first, Jonah. There once was a man named Jonah. God told Jonah to go to Nineveh and go and warn his enemies. Change is on the way. Warn my enemies? I don't want to warn my enemies, the Ninevites. I want God to punish them. So Jonah chose not to go to Nineveh. I'm not even probably saying that right. Instead, he decided to go to Tarshish in Spain. Did you ever want to go to Spain? Instead of Nineveh, Jonah went to Joppa, got on a ship, and sailed for Spain. He thought this was the way he could run away from God. To get somewhere, you can go straight, or you could walk sideways like me, like a crab. But even Jonah couldn't run away from God. God is everywhere. Jonah disobeyed, so God sent a terrible storm. Show how the boat went back and forth and up and down. Now show how the boat went way, way up and way, way down. The sailors didn't know what to do. First, they threw all the cargo overboard. Then they woke up Jonah. What did you do to make God send this storm? The sailors wanted to know how to stop the storm. The wind was blowing very fast. Try blowing wind as hard as you can. Jonah said, "This storm is all my fault. Throw me overboard and you'll be safe." The sailors didn't want to, but they had no choice. They picked up Jonah, 1, 2, 3, heave! Into the splashing sea with a big old splash. Can you make bubble sounds even when you're not underwater? Jonah and the big fish. Jonah 1 through 4. Gulp! For 3 days and nights, Jonah stayed in the big fish's belly. Finally, Jonah prayed and said he was sorry. Then God had the fish spit him out on a beach. What do you think that felt like? I love how the dolphins are over there clapping. God still wanted Jonah to go to Nineveh, not Spain or anywhere else, Nineveh. So this time, what did Jonah do? He finally went to Nineveh. Jonah spent one whole day wandering up and down the streets. He told his enemies to live better lives or God would punish them. Guess what? The Ninevians listened. "Oh, we're so sorry," they cried. They put on clothes and looked like sacks to show God how sorry they were. And they meant it. Even the king was sorry. He took off his rich robes and put on a sackcloth, just like the other Ninevites. God forgave the Ninevites. They heard his message and they obeyed. Everyone prayed and asked God to save them. And that's what God did. When God chose to forgive the Ninevites, Jonah was not happy. He was mad and went off by himself. God caused a plant to grow and shade Jonah. Where do you go when you're feeling bad? What kind of face do you think Jonah made when he thought God was not being fair? Then God had a worm attack the plant and make it die. Now Jonah was really mad. But God told Jonah, "You care about the plant? Think about how much I care about these men and women and children. They are why I sent you to Nineveh." Jonah took a different route to Nineveh. Some of us walk sideways to get somewhere. Like walking sideways, Jonah's way was different. But he got there in the end, and he learned a whale of a lesson. Daniel the prisoner. Kings Chronicles, Jeremiah, and Daniel. A long time ago, there was a young boy named Daniel who was very brave. During a terrible war, an enemy army attacked Jerusalem and took many of God's people prisoner. Poor Daniel. The soldiers marched him off to Babylon, far, far away. Some say Daniel was a prince of Jerusalem. Prince or prisoner, Daniel swore never to forget his home, his family. And what did Daniel do? He talked to God. The king of Babylon was called Nebuchadnezzar. He ordered the soldiers to search through the many prisoners. Look for the strongest and cleverest boys, then send them to my special school. Can you say Nebuchadnezzar, not with your mouth full? Where is the king? At the king's special school, Daniel and his friends had to read Babylonian and write in Babylonian. Ever had news Babylonian names? Daniel was called Belteshazzar. How do you say that? What makes you different? They had to eat like Babylonians, drink like Babylonians, pray like Babylonians. Finally, Daniel told his teacher, "No, we're not like you. We're different." I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. David told his friends, "Remember who we are. We are very different from Babylonians. We must remember what our parents taught us." Daniel and his friends were trying to follow God's rules for his people. Name one thing your parents have taught you. Daniel and the lions. Years later, Nebuchadnezzar died. When his son, the new king, threw a strange hand appeared. The strange hand wrote something on the wall. No one knew what it was. The king sent for Daniel, who asked God what it meant. Daniel said it was a message from God. God was not pleased with the new king, who worshipped gold and silver more than God. The writer said that God had judged the kingdom and the king. The king rewarded Daniel, but this did not change the will of God. The king died that very night. The next day, Darius loved Daniel, but Daniel's enemies tricked the king and had Daniel arrested. Poor Daniel was an old man by this time, and here he was a prisoner again. "You must punish him for praying to his God," the enemies told the king. The guards threw Daniel into a pit with lions, but God sent an angel there to shut the mouths of the lions. He stayed there all night. Roar! Hey, I can't open my mouth. In the morning, Daniel did not even have one scratch on him. God had kept him safe, he told the king. Why was Daniel different? What did he do every day, no matter if it landed him in the pit of lions? Daniel talked to God. Do you talk to God today? And that is our Bible stories for the day. When we get back, we'll be reading Esther the Beautiful. I hope that you guys are enjoying this series. We are almost finished with this book, though. So when I finish, I pick up another kid's Bible, but it's going to be repetitive if I do that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what kind of content you would love to see. Bye!